So I wanted to expand on something from a video I posted last week, and we'll start right here. If you're someone who feels like you're always busy, like you're always tired, like you're always grinding, but somehow you never actually get ahead, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not alone. This is not a personal failure. What you're experiencing has a name, and it's called survival mode. And you see, survival mode isn't just an accidental occurrence anymore. No, survival mode is something people have been placed into on purpose. Survival mode is baked into the system we're living in right now. Because here's the thing. Real progress requires planning. It requires the ability to save. It requires building. It requires the ability to take risks. It requires being able to fail without losing everything. In a healthy system, you'd feel free to try new things, comfortable to take chances, secure enough to fall down and get back up, because the system will support you. The system will support the citizen, the worker, the family, not just the institutions, not just the elites. But what we have instead is survival mode. What we have instead is a situation where you're worried about the next bill, the next emergency. You're hoping nothing breaks. You're hoping the car starts tomorrow. You're hoping rent doesn't jump again. You're hoping gas prices don't escalate again. You're hoping property taxes don't spike. You're hoping the mortgage stays manageable. That's not how a society is supposed to function. Because a population stuck in survival mode does not rebel. No, they don't innovate. They don't create. They don't take any risks. And when people are exhausted, when people are demoralized, as Jesse Lee Peterson would say, they don't pack up and leave easily either. No, they just cope. They surrender. They tell themselves, maybe someday things will change. So let's be honest. Who benefits when people are too tired to fight back? When people are too demoralized to fight back? When people are too exhausted to fight back? When people are too poor to fight back? It's not you. It's not me. Well, maybe it is you, but it's not me. It's not the workers. It's not the families. It's not the communities. It's the system that created this environment by design in the first place. They did it because survival mode keeps people dependent on them. They did it because survival mode keeps people distracted. They did it because it keeps us fighting each other instead of looking, I won't say up, but at them. Neighbors become enemies, while the architects of the system stay invisible, stay comfortable, stay rich. California, in particular, has perfected this model. Because if you just think back, just a mere 10 years ago, even if you were struggling, it felt like a temporary thing. But now, struggling feels permanent. There's like no end in sight. And that psychological shift is something you'll never hear discussed on mainstream media. You'll never hear this on like the View, on CNN. No, because when people stop believing that effort leads to reward, society changes. And it changes in the favor of the elites. It does not change better, or at least for us. So if today you're feeling like you're surviving instead of progressing, you're not crazy, and you're certainly not alone. The real question isn't, how do I hustle harder? How do I get out there and try to figure out a way to make some more money? No, that's not the question. The question is, why doesn't working harder? Why doesn't hustling work anymore? Why doesn't it move the needle? That's the question we all should be asking. And that question should be the motivation to change this trajectory. If today you feel like you're surviving instead of progressing, you're not crazy, and you're certainly not alone. The real question isn't, how do I hustle harder? How do I add more hours? No. The real question is, why doesn't hustling work anymore? Why doesn't hustling move the needle anymore? That's the question we all should be asking ourselves. That's the question we should all be asking the elites that put us in this situation in the first place. And that question should be the motivation to change this trajectory.